Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris Don One, and I am back with another video. I want to apologize for the camera angle because my tripod has been acting up on me. It's been acting kind of foul on me, but nevertheless, I'm here though. You know what you got to do: rate, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to support the don't forget to support the channel by hitting the like button as well as the notification bell. Got a little sidetracked there, okay? But anyway, we're gonna be talking about the ESPN. We're also gonna be talking about news surrounding Michelle Beadle and these conflicting reports from ESPN campuses about Molly Karam and the possibility of her no longer being on First Take and how all of this ties in. Okay, but before I begin, I want to throw out a disclaimer out there. I can't confirm nor deny the Molly Karam angle, so I'm just going to only speak on assumptions from what I have gathered through the interwebs, particularly about Molly Karam. But let's get back on Michelle Beadle. ESPN thought it was a great idea to pull Michelle Beadle from NBA Countdown. Now, initially, Michelle Beadle had it, then she lost it to, and I forgot the lady's name. I should have did anyway. The black lady who was an activist, and basically she lost the starting job from ESPN Countdown, and then Michelle Beadle just came along and just grabbed it. Okay, so they're replacing her. Now, there's been a lot of reports talking about Chauncey Billups is leaving ESPN, which if you've been following me, I talked about it, and I was shocked that he continued to be on ESPN Countdown because he was getting offers from the NBA as far as an executive role, as far as a front office gig. And he had an offer to be the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he turned that down because he already knew, he saw the writing on the wall that LeBron James was not going to be in Cleveland, and it would have been a rough go for him. And, you know, your first GM job, your first GM move, you don't want to go to a team that is rebuilding because you probably won't be there throughout the duration of them rebuilding. Okay, so he didn't want to accept that gig. He also got offers from Detroit. So now he's going to be doing, he's going to be like an analyst for the Los Angeles Clippers. I believe that's a try-on job to see how it works, see how it fits, and if it really blows up and if it really works out. And I also think Chauncey Billups is a smart man, and he doesn't want to commit to something when there's possibilities, in the next couple of years. You know, there's been rumblings and rumors that Charles Barkley may be leaving TNT, and a lot of people think Dwayne Wade is going to replace Charles Barkley, or Dwayne Wade is going to be on the team. That's going to make the team even bigger. And Chauncey Billups also sees that as well as the fact that as just being an analyst broadcasting the Clipper games, okay, that's sort of like a try-on for the Clippers if they are interested in him as far as being in a front office job, or some other team interested in him taking a front office job. So Chauncey Billups is leaving. Not too sure about Paul Pierce, but I do feel like ESPN would not miss Paul Pierce if he decides to step down. I don't know how many years he has on his contract, but Paul Pierce, I don't think ESPN, they kind of mix with Paul Pierce. He's not really, the audience is not really gravitating to ESPN Countdown just because Paul Pierce is there. And Jalen Rose, who has been a staple for ESPN Countdown, they're going to continue to do business with Jalen Rose, because Jalen Rose it has been hitting it. He's been phenomenal, particularly on ESPN Countdown, particularly on his podcast, particularly on Get Up. So he's been really making some big time noise. Okay, and let me go ahead and get this car rolling so I can get home. All right, so you got all that stuff out of the way, and they're replacing Michelle Beadle with darn, I just had her name in my mind. She's on The Jump. She's the host of The Jump, Rachel Nichols, and she's gonna be two women are going to be replacing Michelle Beadle. Now, Michelle Beadle was making like $5 million a year with ESPN, and I'm not going to give y'all a whole backstory on Michelle Beadle. Everybody knows about Michelle Beadle, and ESPN is not happy with Michelle Beadle because clearly, when you talk about sports entertainment, particularly media, it's always about the clicks. It's always about the viewership. And the viewership is not too happy with Michelle Beadle. And I think that's got the best of Michelle Beadle to the point where ESPN no longer wants to have her, on ESPN Countdown, because ESPN look at Countdown as competition for TNT NBA show. Okay, and I don't see it. They don't have the personalities to compete with TNT. I think they have a phenomenal cast over there with Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Ernie, and I know I forgot something. And Shaq. And I think that's a great dynamic. And they're killing it on the ratings, and they destroy ESPN Countdown. They tried to move it around different times to see somehow, some way people would watch ESPN Countdown and still watch the TNT broadcast, sort of sharing the viewership. But the TNT show is competition. And nobody can steal their ratings. Nobody can steal their views, okay? And all these other shows want to live and want to prosper and want to eat, okay? So they're revamping the show, and it's going to be Rachel Nichols, and I forgot the other lady that's also going to be joining, and they're going to be alternating shows. They're not going to. You might have some shows where you might have some occasions where they both be on the show at the same time. But I feel like Rachel Nichols and I forgot the other lady's name, they're going to be alternating because Rachel Nichols has other obligations as well, okay? And it's basically going to be a Jalen Rose show. Now, how all of this has anything to do with Molly Qerim? Now, there has been in the rumor mill, and I can't confirm nor deny these rumors, but ESPN is replacing Molly Qerim with the Rose, the French lady who does the TV analyst for TNT. Very attractive woman. I knew she was going to go. I knew her role was going to expand, but I thought it was always going to be on TNT. Okay, but she has gotten so much popularity that ESPN been noticing it, and rumors are creeping around that she's going to be filling in for Molly Qerim. Now, a lot of people are interpreting it to be she's replacing Molly Qerim permanently. I read the article, and it sounds like to me it's a temporary type of gig on First Take, and this can go either way. Molly Qerim could be pregnant and she wants time off, okay? Or Molly Qerim, just wants a break away from First Take, okay? That's a possibility. So you can explore the possibilities how you want it, and how you see fit. I feel like ultimately the ultimate goal is, I feel like ESPN, if you've been following and understanding ESPN, the basic premise to all of their shows are chemistry and how broadcasters connect with other broadcasters on these shows, like Mike and Mike. That was and Skip Bayless. That was a huge hit for ESPN. PTI with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. That's a huge, it always, if you look at these shows, the core element of why these shows are successful is the chemistry between the two hosts, okay? And that's what makes the show great, all right? And word around the campfire is, and I cannot confirm nor deny this, okay, that ESPN they want to make NBA Countdown, ESPN NBA Countdown, a huge smashing hit, and they also wanted to do it. They want to make it a two host type of show, like like how they did the other shows, and then you occasionally sprinkle it in with other guests. But ultimately, it's going to be a 2-man show. And the word around the campfire is the two guys that they're looking at is Jalen Rose and Molly Karam, okay? Molly Karam, for years, always wanted her own show, all right? She has always been on shows that had already been popular, okay? And she started her claim to fame on NFL Network, okay? But she's always been gravitated to shows that already has a cult following, and she sort of has to come in the angle of trying to get in, to fit in, sort of say. All right, so NBA Countdown, even though it's not technically a new show, but out of all the shows ESPN has, NBA Countdown is really not a popular show. And so for Molly Karam and Jalen Rose being a 2-man show, being a 2-host show, that would be literally her own show, as well as Jalen Rose. If you look at the dynamic, yeah, they are married. So Jalen Rose knows how to handle Molly Karam. Molly Karam knows how to handle Jalen Rose. It's never going to be a situation where Jalen Rose is trying to steal all the shine from Molly Karam and vice versa, okay? So First Take fans, if they gravitate to this show, then it's clearly a troll move, okay? Because you was never interested in ESPN Countdown. If you don't believe me, look at the ratings. The ratings are always bad when you compare it to TNT's shows, okay? So they want to spark new life into NBA Countdown, ESPN NBA Countdown, and they figured by making it a 2-man show, and it's going to be Jalen Rose and Molly Karam. I just dropped a jewel. A lot of people are not going to realize this jewel, and everybody's going to ride this jewel and say that they were the first. But clearly, my live stream is going to have a timestamp. I'm going to be really the only one on YouTube, well, on social media, dropping you guys this knowledge. And I feel like, and the reason why I feel like this is going to happen, if you've been checking out the business size aspects of ESPN, particularly with their what's been transpiring, what's been going on, they've been trying to compete with Fox, and Fox is a juggernaut. Fox Sports 1 is a juggernaut. Yes, they do have shows that can compete with Fox, but overall, Fox is starting to come around the corner and may take over the top spot when you talk about sports entertainment. Fox, Fox Sports 1 is going to have the XFL. Fox Sports 1 is going to have WWE. And the only reason why they're going to have WWE because they're going to be broadcasting the XFL, and it's all one type of package. And they would, and they bid it to have the service. They're going to have exclusive rights to the XFL. I hope the XFL is a winning format. It's very successful. As long as they don't think they too big-headed, that they bigger than the NFL, then I feel like it's going to be all good for the XFL. But Fox Sports 1 has been making those sort of type moves that, you know, like the XFL and WWE, you would never see these shows gravitate to ESPN. But ESPN have done specials on the XFL, has done shows and specials for the XFL. So I can't wait until all of this comes out and all this transpire. But that's what I feel they're going to do with ESPN Countdown. Okay, so you know, that's all I got. Oh, as far as Michelle Beadle goes, she's still going to be with ESPN throughout the duration of her contract, and when her contract's up, she can probably renegotiate for ESPN, but it's going to be for a lesser price. It's not going to be a lot of length on the contract. And, you know, that's that. It would not surprise me to see Michelle Beadle go back to Fox Sports 1. She went to Fox Sports 1 in the beginning when they started to try to gain some momentum to you know, as far as competing with ESPN. And the first move that they made was hire all of ESPN's executives, people that had the ideals, the minds behind the popular shows that ESPN has broadcast, and they imported them to Fox. The second thing they done was steal, well, not, I wouldn't say technically steal, but as far as you know, getting their talent, Skip Bayless jumped ship, went to Fox Sports 1. Chris Broussard went to Fox Sports 1. So there, when you look at Fox Sports 1 today, if you look at all their shows, the common element, the common theme in the room is they're all old employees of ESPN when ESPN had to do a massive layoff, okay, to cut their losses. Now, ESPN is sort of profitable, but they're not as profitable as they were 15, 20 years ago, okay? So, I feel like Michelle Beadle's probably going to go back to Fox Sports 1 and, you know, just be, you know, someone that, you know, appears on a lot of these shows. She has a great friendship with Colin Cowherd. Ooh, I went too fast over that bump. Colin Cowherd. So I do feel like there's going to be times where she might be featured on Colin Cowherd's radio show as well as his television show. I don't see her on First Things First. Because I don't see the chemistry angle there. She's not going to mix well with those guys over there. I really don't see her on Speak for Yourself, because I feel like even though Michael Wilbon, you know, a lot of the ideals Michael Wilbon spews is probably culture for Michelle Beadle. Okay, I think you know, so I really don't, you know, other than, you know, if something big happens, particularly with you know, like if an athlete is charged with domestic violence or whatever, and when an athlete is charged with domestic violence, or an owner, or whoever the case may be in sports entertainment, you know, ESPN would do this song and dance where they'll bring in, you know, Michelle Beadle to talk and interject about it, because she's so left-wing on the angle. And I'm not, and before everybody starts commenting, I don't agree with athletes beating up on their wives, okay? I just don't think there's no situation where you should put your hands on a woman unless it's like it's life or death, okay? And a lot of situations can simply end differently if you just walk away, you know, and you know, that's that, or just don't say anything, just walk away, just be done with that person, okay? But you know, men, you know, in the heat of the moment, men really don't think that way. And I'm not here to say that women think better in the heat of the moment. I think when women are in the heat of the moment, they're very calculating. They know they can just say certain trigger words that would offend you, that will offend a man, that will make a man react. Okay, I don't want to get in too deep with this, but yeah. So I see Michelle Beadle. If she goes back to Fox Sports 1, she's basically going to be the token advocate for athletes that you know, beat up on their wives, the domestic violence angle. Okay, so I can see Fox Sports 1 utilizing her on that spot, but you know, I can also see her gravitating back to ESPN because that's basically all she knows. You know, ESPN has an understanding about Michelle Beadle, and for the record, I really do like Michelle Beadle. I don't have an issue with Michelle Beadle. I don't agree with everything Michelle Beadle says and does, okay? But at the same time, you got to call it like you see it. Michelle Beadle is not the most talented person on ESPN, and she gotten her claim of fame because of her father and the connections he has in sports entertainment. Okay, and you can Google and do the research for yourself. So it's not the fact that Michelle Beadle was the brightest of the brightest who worked hard, and they all work hard. Don't get it confused. Don't get it twisted. Okay, but I feel like Michelle Beadle road to her claim of fame was a little bit easier than these other women, and I'm not even take the men out of it, of these other women who want to try to make it in sports entertainment in a male dominated business. Okay, so I feel like her role was a little bit easier than the other women's path. Okay, so that's all I got for this. And like I said, I know a lot of people, you know, and I'm not gonna say any names, but there are certain YouTube channels that are popular than me that I notice that I know for a fact they will say things verbatim, word for word, what I said. And, you know, I'm cool with that, but at least, you know, give me some love. Just say, hey, I got it from so-and-so, X, Y, and Z, you know. But a lot of them don't do that, and I understand that everybody, you know, everybody does things a little bit differently. But that's all I got for today, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys on the next live stream.